Here's Kurt.
Yeah, I don't know what that last little noise was from shotgun there, but that's neither here nor there. Well, I got to tell you something. I don't think that I've been that excited about a baseball game last night, the one last night. I have to go back to Game 4 of the National League Championship Series against the Cubs. Really, you know, we've all seen some great baseball games between October of 1984 and now, but last night's game, and you know what, Terrence, I'm glad to see you. Welcome, Terrence. As I've mentioned before on this show, is a great Dodger fan. And before we get into that, I want to get Terrence's input, what I'm going to ask him, and he can cue it up and get it ready to send it. After I thank all of the people that support this show and give you some little tidbits about what's going to happen on Friday night. Naturally, it's all about Hacienda Casa Blanca. They've been our supporters since day one, and I'm going to be out there tomorrow night. So I want all of you to join us. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a watch party. Can't beat a watch party. I'd rather be there with all of you than be at Petco with all of them, if you know what I mean. There's going to be too many Dodger fans around. It's just going to tick me off. I'd rather be out there. If there's a few Dodger fans, hey, we invite everybody. We invite everyone that enjoys the game of baseball. So whether you're a Dodger fan, an Astro fan, a Seattle Mariner fan, more on that in a minute, come on out tomorrow night at 5:30. The game starts at 5:37. So I say 5:30 to get there a couple of minutes early. Make sure you get a good seat. And Tony and Cindy are hosting at Hacienda Casa Blanca, 700 North Johnson in El Cajon. That's our little hangout. Lots of times during the season and in the off season too. So I got to thank Tony and Cindy. I'm going to remind you about tomorrow night before the show ends. And we also got to send a shout out to our buddy at Lacima Oil, Tom Drake, who provides us with our Chevron gift cards. Don't let me forget. As a matter of fact, I just looked at notes. There's a lot of times where I don't use notes, but when I really want to remember something, I write notes down so I can glance over and go, don't forget to subscribe, because I do it every single week. I forget to tell you. So go to the bottom of your YouTube page and click on the bell and subscribe. There's no cost. And like this broadcast, because it enables me to be able to bring you more good stuff. And comment on the YouTube channel also, because that makes everything good for us. Or you can reach out to me on my Instagram page at Kurt Bavacqua, and I'll be happy. I answer everybody that comes on there. I really do. Yeah, I know. My wife gets on me about being on social media so much, but I want to hear what I started referring to was I want to hear, with the exception of the final score, because I know there's no Dodger fan in the world that likes that. Other than after the last out was made in the ninth inning, Did everybody find that game last night as exciting as I did? Or was it just me? Was it me realizing that games especially in the playoffs can be decided on any one pitch? And I want to point something out about last night's game. If you watched it, if you didn't, it would be great if somehow you can record it or have recorded it and be able to watch it, because there was a pitch that the home plate umpire clearly missed that Yu Darvish threw to Muncy. And the reason I'm pointing this out, I'm going to actually praise the umpire later. The reason I'm pointing this out is because they showed a camera shot, showed Machado jawing at the third base umpire. And you just know what he was saying. He was saying, you know what, guys? You can't miss calls like that in a playoff atmosphere. I know that's what he was saying to the third base umpire. In a regular season game, he would have never been talking to him. He might have glanced over and given him a look or something like that, but he would have never been jawing at him the way he was last night. It wasn't the type of jawing that was going to get him thrown out of the game. It was the type that's going to get his point across. Okay, with that said, Darvish Kershaw just battled it out for 5 innings last night. Both arguably aces on both staffs. 5 innings, 6 hits by one, 7 hits by the other, 3 runs. Both of them gave up 3 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts by the other. It was one of those games. And I believe one of the things that made the big difference in the game, the Dodgers hit 3 home runs, but they were all solo home runs. That's huge. And it's also huge that the Padres had enough confidence to come off the field after the Dodgers continually tied the game up and even went ahead at one point and came back and scored again. Boy, that gives your pitchers a lot of confidence about going out and getting it on. And that's exactly what they did last night. They really did. Brilliant relief by Robert Suarez. I tell you what, this guy's become the go-to guy out of the bullpen. I wouldn't be afraid to throw him in there in any situation. I really wouldn't. He's got the kind of stuff where he can throw it by guys, and that's what you need with this Los Angeles Dodger baseball team. You need to throw them a lot of fastballs. What did we have? Freeman, Muncy, and Trey Turner. All hit solo home runs last night. On what kind of pitch? I'm telling you, these guys were looking for breaking balls off of Yu Darvish last night. That was their strategy going into the game. And you didn't throw enough, not you, but Yu Darvish didn't throw enough fastballs, especially in to these guys, so that they couldn't lean out over the plate and feel comfortable waiting on a breaking ball. Suarez is not like that. You've got to square up 97, 98, 99, and sometimes 100 and 100 plus with this guy. And you know what? It's not easy. Squaring up a round ball with a round bat, it's just not easy. It's a hell of a lot easier squaring it up at 84 or 82. So the more fastballs the Padres throw to the Dodgers, the better off they're going to be. Now, I know Trey Turner turned on a Mike Clevenger fastball in the first inning, but it's a 90, 91 mile an hour fastball. There's a difference. Trey Turner's not going to turn on Robert Suarez at 99. That same exact pitch, he's not hitting out of the ballpark. At very best, he's going to foul it off or get jammed. Padres got a chance to shock the baseball world, folks. I'm telling you, and I'm going to give you my prediction on the Friday game at the end of the show. It's not going to be a prediction. It's going to be a happening. Well, I'm out in El Cajon at Hacienda Casa Blanca with Tony, Cindy, and all the rest of you folks. Because you know what? There's going to be a lot of people coming. And I'm excited. I like to get in there with you, especially watching Game 3 of the National League Division Championship. It's going to be fun. Petco Park is going to be electric. And it's going to be almost as electric at Hacienda. So, what do we got going on here? Chili, what? Yes, no, what? What am I missing here, Joe? This guy asked a question earlier, and be patient. I'll get to it later. I don't know what that means. Oh, do I have any Lenny Arvello story? Yeah, but yeah, I'm not going to tell stories about different people unless I have them on the show, and maybe we'll have Lenny on someday. But right now, we're going to concentrate on what we're doing and what I'm trying to do. We all know that the Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies are tied at 1 game apiece. They're also going to play tomorrow's game. The Guardians, and it's still a little strange to me, the Guardians and the Yankee game was postponed today due to proposed weather. Not due to weather, although it looked like it was going to rain most of the day in New York. They postponed the game before it even started. I tell you what, that happens very few times. I don't remember too many times in my major league career, and that covers a long time, where I just never went to the ballpark. Where I got a call, and we didn't have cell phones then. I got a call at the hotel, or we were down in the lobby and we were told that we're not going to the ballpark. Doesn't happen very often, but it happened in New York today. I would imagine most of those guys were already at the ballpark, because for playoff games, you're going to go an extra couple hours earlier anyway. And that's just the way it is. So going back to the umpiring, I want to show you a graphic on last night's umpire, home plate umpire, Chris Siegel, in the Dodger Padre game. And there was all kinds of bitching and moaning going on. And as you can see, there's a big chart over in the left that's colorized, and it says missed calls. Then you can look up and you can see the overall accuracy, the overall consistency. And then below that, you actually see that he called 149 of 160 pitches that were taken correctly. He called 10 pitches were called balls inside the lines, and 3 called strikes outside. you can see the 3 impactful missed calls. And if you take a look at, with the exception of the one on the top left, I hope it's the way you're looking at it also. That ball looks like it was out of the strike zone quite a bit. But all the other pitches that were supposedly missed, it's a fraction. I mean, you're talking about less than a quarter of a baseball. Certainly half of a baseball. If you have close to 200 decisions that you have to make in a split second on balls that are going as fast as 100 miles an hour and dropping 2 or 3 feet, and guys checking swings on them and catchers getting in your way, you know what? You're doing a pretty damn good job. And we will not hear about umpires' calls as soon as they implement, and they're not going to in 2023, but as soon as they implement a replay system like they started to do in the minor leagues last year, where players, the batter, the pitcher, and the catcher, no one else can challenge a pitch ball. And you've got 3 of them. You've got 3 challenges. If you challenge a call in the first inning and it's overturned, you still have 3 challenges. If you challenge 2 calls in the first 3 innings and they're not overturned, you only have 1 challenge left for the rest of the game. That's why it's important to use a strategy on when you're going to challenge the calls. I called for this to be done about 3 years ago. And they're finally, hopefully, doing it because, like Joe West has told me for years, Kurt, all we want to do is get it right. All we want to do is get it right. And Matthew Bernard just made a comment that is right on. It's hard to believe how accurate umpires are with a bang call that they have to make in real time, and sometimes they don't have a great point of view. So we're going to get off the umpire thing. I just want to make it clear to all of you watching out there, and there are going to be calls. The Muncy call last night, he was clearly struck out on an 0-2 pitch that Yu Darvish threw to Max Muncy. I mean, it was well inside the strike zone. And because it came from here to there, it's not an easy call. Siegel called it a ball. And of course, a couple of pitches later, Max Muncy hits the ball out of the ballpark. That's when Machado started to jaw. So Yordan Alvarez strikes again. He hits a 2-run home run to give the Astros a 3-2 lead in the bottom of the 8th. If you've heard the name Yordan Alvarez, you know what he did the other day. He hits a 3-run bomb for a walk-off and just shocks the Seattle Mariners. Why they continue to pitch to him, I don't know. Maybe it was a situation where they had to. It's no different than this San Diego Padre ball club. I certainly hope that who's ever hitting behind Manny Machado, that they're going to be able to swing the bat and be ready to hit the rest of this series. Because if they continue to pitch to Manny Machado, I'll be amazed. I really will. Tony Gosselin, Friday night against Blake Snell. My prediction in a minute. As soon as I thank Tony and Cindy again, thank you for what's going to happen tomorrow night. Come on out and join us out in East County at Hacienda Casa Blanca, 700 North Johnson. And if you live as far as I do and you need to gas up, do it at one of the Chevron stations down in the Kearney Mesa area and support Tom Drake and Lacima Oil. I go to the Chevron station on Balboa and Genesee. So maybe we'll see each other there. And if I don't catch you there, then I will, I'll see you when we get to Hacienda Casa Blanca. Game starts at 5:37 Pacific time, naturally. Well, maybe I shouldn't say naturally, because the last time I went out there for a game, I got into traffic. So if you're going over the 52 from the 805, expect some extra time in this trip. If you're out in El Cajon already, you're good. You're good. So I want you guys to look out for something in tomorrow's game. And the use of Blake Snell and his fastball, which is exactly what has made him successful from the All-Star break on. And what made Robert Suarez successful, not just because it's 99 and 100, but watch how Blake Snell works his fastball and couples it with the hard breaking balls. I tell you what, Freddie Freeman is not going to have the at-bats that he's had the last couple of games against Blake Snell. He's just not. Boy, Freddie, I got to tell you, Freddie Freeman is a good hitter. He's a smart hitter, and he's a good hitter. Max Muncy did something last night that I haven't seen him do in a couple of years. And so I'm hoping, because I want to see the Padres win this series, that he's not starting to heat up. But I think we'll see a little bit of a turn of events with Blake Snell on the mound and Max Muncy at the plate. Max Muncy's go zone for pitchers, and when I say go back to the dugout, is a high fastball from the middle of the plate out. And he'll swing at it out of the strike zone 6 or 8 inches also. Freddie Freeman, you have to pitch him inside and then go away. You can't continually just throw him breaking balls. So keep an eye. And if you're wondering what's going to happen because you can't watch the game, take this to the bank. And everybody get your video camera out and video me saying this. Padres 3, Dodgers 1. And then they complete the series win on Saturday night. And I'll tell you on a Facebook Live what that score is going to be after the game tomorrow night. Score change in Houston. I don't know what it is, but I'll try to look for you so we can. Astros 4. Alvarez didn't hit another home run, did he? Because I know he was up. That'd be crazy if he did. So He hit the home run to put them up 3-2. The Mariners had a 2-1 lead. And Jordan hit another a 2-run home run a couple innings earlier, like the 6th inning, and gave them a 3-2 lead. And Kyle Lundy just wrote that they walked him. Oh, my buddy Mike Ehrlich back in Atlanta, or the Atlanta area, who invited me to stay with him if the Padres play the Braves, if they're lucky enough to get by this series and the Braves win their series against the Philadelphia Phillies. Good to see you, Mike. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Please go to YouTube, subscribe, ring the little belly. That's what I'm told. This is what I'm told to say so that we can keep bringing you great content and everybody's happy. I appreciate everybody tuning in. Continue to do that. It's at Kurt Bavacqua on Instagram. Go on there and start following me, and we'll get this thing really rolling, because I don't want everything to go dormant over the winter. We've got some exciting baseball coming up. No matter what teams are in the postseason, we're going to be coming to you, and we're going to be talking about the teams that you love. So if your team is still in the postseason, I wish you the best of luck. So tomorrow night, Hacienda Casa Blanca, and Padres win 3-1. It's Gosselin against Blake Snell. We'll see how good I am or bad. It's whatever way you want to look at it. So until next week, it's Kurt Bavacqua from Dirty Kurt's Dugout saying, stay safe, everybody, and we will talk to you soon.